Welcome to my next From Season 1 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching from, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, if you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've already seen every single episode of From, just getting ready for Season 3 of From, which premieres on September 22nd. So I'm going to review every single episode before that episode airs. The videos aren't doing very well on the channel. It's hurting my algorithm. My other videos are starting to lose views, but you know what? I only got 13 more after this video. I'm going to continue them. So if you're a From fan, please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. Share the video with anybody. Just help me out. I want to at least try to get 50 views on these From videos to at least make things even out a bit. There's going to be a day where I do like 3 From reviews to do all my From stuff in one day, and then kind of keep my other videos separate, I think. I don't know. But anyway, this will be From Season 1, Episode 7. The title of this episode is called All Good Things. And this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start with residents hanging decorations in preparation for a party while Alice looks around. Upstairs, Julie finds it odd that they are celebrating the day that Fatima got stuck in the town, and Fatima, who is looking for something under her bed, says that she is looking at it the wrong way and that they are actually celebrating survival, adding it's nice to have a party once in a while. Fatima then finds a sweater which she had been keeping hidden from Trudy, who loves that sweater. Julie, admiring the sweater, tells Fatima that she makes the town seem almost normal and that she is special. Fatima is touched but says that they are all special, even Trudy. Ellis arrives and asks if they want to pregame. Both decline and Fatima tells him to go easy. Ellis teases them both and leaves, calling for Victor. Julie asks Fatima if Ellis is alright, and she explains that nights like this are difficult for him because it makes him remember the people who didn't make it. Fatima then gives Julie a dress for the party. Ellis tells an uninterested Victor that he of all people should get drunk, considering how long he has been trapped in the town. That's not going to happen. Victor asks to be left alone before Donna arrives. Ellis offers Donna a shot before leaving. Victor informs Donna that there aren't any peaches in the pantry, and Donna tells him that they are completely out. Victor says this is the first time they've ever run out of peaches, and Donna apologizes. Out on the porch, Kevin leaves a bouquet of flowers on the porch before someone tells him to get inside before dark. Boyd walks through the streets ringing the bell, telling people to get inside. In the home, Tabitha reads to Ethan, and after noticing that Ethan has fallen asleep, begins closing the curtains. Kenny finds Jade squirreled away in his room, repeatedly drawing the mysterious symbol that he saw in his hallucination. Kenny admonishes Jade for drawing in his book. Jade angrily shouts that he was out of paper and asks Kenny if he wants him to draw on the walls like a psychopath. Father Khatri waits on the porch of Sheriff Boyd's office. When he returns, Khatri tells Boyd that they need to talk in private urgently. Khatri notices that Boyd is preparing to leave and remarks that they have even more to talk about. Jim sketches plans for a radio tower, and Tabitha informs him that Ethan is passed out. Jim jokes that she violated numerous child labor laws by having him dig in the basement, but Tabitha assures him that their son enjoyed it. Tabitha reveals that she gets nervous whenever he is out of her sight, and Jim admits he does as well, but points out that they all have windows that are nailed shut and doors locked, so it would be impossible for him to let the creatures inside. Tabitha then admits she's also worried about Julie, but Jim assures her that Donna will take good care of Julie. Tabitha asks Jim how the radio tower is going, and Jim responds that if he can convince Boyd to let him use all the building's materials, drain all their batteries, and get Donna to allow them to use the colony house's high ground, it will be enough for everyone to hate him when it fails. Tabitha tells him not to doubt himself and reminds him that he got a signal. Jim corrects her and says it was static, but she assures him that it's something and kisses him. The two then joke about the hole in the basement before Tabitha leaves to continue digging. So Tabitha's just obsessed with all this digging. Now the party is in full swing while Ellis stumbles around through the crowd. Fatima tells him to slow down, but he insists that he is fine. Donna then gives a heartfelt speech praising Fatima and then gives her a dream catcher. Everyone then raises a glass to Fatima. Afterwards, another female kisses Fatima, and Julie awkwardly stares like, what was that? Julie wants some Fatima. Boyd explaining to Khatri his plan to go out in the forest in search of a way out. Khatri then reveals the bag that he buried the day he arrived in the town and has Boyd look through the contents. Boyd gets frustrated and asks what's going on. Khatri says that they have never discussed who they were before they arrived in town. Khatri explains that there was a young, quiet, and sensitive boy with very strict parents and his congregation. One day, the boy asked Khatri if he could stay for a while, but Khatri, not wanting the parents to worry, gave the boy a candy bar and sent him on his way. Later, Father Khatri went by the house to check on him, and the mother came out rushing out of the house, hysterical. Khatri recalls the smell of alcohol while the father was yelling at the dead body of his son. Khatri becomes distressed and remembers the candy bar in the boy's pocket and how the father insisted that the boy would be fine. Khatri continues to say that he began beating the boy's father, and Khatri is not happy with himself for failing to help the boy, and that he contemplated suicide after drinking the bottle of alcohol in the bag, but heard the voice of God who told him to return to the car for what was another path to follow. The path led him to this town. Boyd asks the priest why he is telling him all this, and Khatri says because he has Sarah tied up in the basement of his church. Khatri tries to explain that he knows there is a reason they are all trapped in the town, but Boyd aims his gun at him, and Boyd tells a shocked Father Khatri to tell him that he is joking. Boyd angrily recalls how Khatri insisted that Frank Pratt go into the box, but Khatri tells him that Sarah may be the way they go home, and Boyd demands that he explain. Random character Kevin sneaks away from the festivities to see the creature he has been talking to, the one that he's leaving bouquet of flowers for, who he calls Jasmine. And Jasmine tells him that she only came to say goodbye, distressing Kevin. She asks him why he won't let her inside, and he says he can't, but begs her to stay and talk to him. She tells him that she can't keep coming to see him, knowing that she will never feel him, and that he is frightened and disgusted by her. She adds that she is just as lonely as he is, and it is not her choice to be as she is. As she turns to leave, Kevin tells her to wait, and says there's a party downstairs, but she is the only one that he can really talk to. He asks her to promise that she's the only one that will come in, and she says that once they shut the window, none of the other creatures will enter. Kevin then retrieves a crowbar and begins removing the nails, keeping the window shut. Downstairs, we have a drunk Dale talking to Stacy about the number of dimensions there are. I believe Stacy's the one that kissed Fatima, and different theories they talk about. And Stacy asks if they are in another dimension, and Dale answers that they are in a pocket universe. Ellis rudely tells him that no one cares and to shut up, and then Ellis begins to pick a fight, but Fatima diffuses it. However, Dale tells her to get Ellis upstairs before he starts shooting up the place. But Fatima and Donna restrain him before he can hit Dale. Fatima asks Ellis if he is okay, and he apologizes and goes to lie down in his room, telling her to stay and celebrate the night. After he leaves, Dale calls Ellis an animal, adding, "Like mother, like son," and Donna punches him in the face. Kevin opens the window and Jasmine hops inside. Not literally hops, but comes inside, shutting the window behind her, and then the two embrace and begin kissing. However, Jasmine scratches him with her claws and bites his tongue off before attacking him further. Kenny informs Jade that the diner is ready, or that dinner is ready, not diner, and Jade refuses to come down, and Kenny begins to argue with him. Then Mrs. Liu arrives and begins yelling at him in Cantonese, prompting Jade to relent. Fatima finds Trudy sitting by herself and asks what's wrong. Trudy says she knows Fatima does not like her, which Fatima denies. Trudy remarks that it's a nice party, and Fatima tells her that she will get one as well, but Trudy ominously asks she doesn't think she will. Fatima tells her to take off her shirt, surprising her. Fatima admits that Trudy drives her crazy sometimes, but she is not alone, lending her the sweater. Trudy likes delighting her. Fatima tells her to think of it as an early anniversary present. Trudy is touched by the gift and leaves to find a gift for Fatima. Julie finds Fatima and compliments her for giving Trudy the sweater. Julie then awkwardly asks what's the deal with Fatima kissing Stacy, but being with Ellis. So Fatima explains that Ellis is her boyfriend, but she was just fooling around with Stacy. A nervous Julie asks if she could kiss Fatima, surprising Fatima. Julie then runs away before Fatima can answer. Boyd finds Cautry's explanation of the voices Sarah hears difficult to believe, but Cautry pulls out the drawing she made of the chocolate bar logo. Boyd tries to rationalize it, but Cautry insists that there is no way she could have known the story. Boyd asks if he thinks whatever is talking to Sarah is trying to help them, pointing out that it ordered her to kill Kenny's father and Ethan Matthews. Cautry says that it is part of the fabric of this place, and Sarah's connection makes her vulnerable in ways they do not understand yet. Cautry tells Boyd that this is not a coincidence, and that Boyd is about to go on his journey at the same time as this connection is revealed. Cautry suggests that he and Sarah accompany Boyd on his journey and use her connection to their advantage. Tabitha continues digging in the basement. Jim arrives and tells her that soon they'll need a taller ladder before descending to help his wife. Tabitha says she is fine, and then Jim responds that none of them are really fine before massaging Tabitha's shoulders. He offers to take over digging while she goes to rest with Ethan. As Jim continues massaging her, the two begin to kiss. Jasmine washes the blood off her hands and face after killing Kevin before opening the window for the other creatures. Meanwhile, Victor is sorting through his belongings when Julie arrives at his door and asks to come in. Victor reluctantly lets her in after she says she needs to be alone and is having a bad night. Julie asks if he is going somewhere because it looks like he is packing up, and he says it's hard to explain. She then asks about the Grays, which he does not want to talk about. Julie then begins asking him questions about the town. Jake continues to stare at the journal with the Sybils during the dinner with the Luz right before realizing that the two of the pages are stuck together. He is able to pry them apart, and a Polaroid photo falls out the book. The picture is of a smiling man holding the journal in front of the door. As the three look at it, Mrs. Liu points out that a young Victor is in the corner of the picture, he's identified by his signature lunchbox, shocking Jade and Kenny. Trudy prepares to give Meredith, the pillow, security blanket to Fatima. Overhearing laughter, she goes into a nearby room, but the door is shut behind her. Surrounded by three of the creatures, she begins panicking, and Jasmine calls her by her name, explaining they know all their names. The creatures then begin mauling Trudy downstairs. Dale complains about the lack of respect that he is shown, but gets distracted by blood dripping onto him. He then looks up and sees the smiley creature staring down at him, covered in blood. Stacy screams, and the other residents begin to panic. Someone rings the alarm, waking Ellis up. While chaos ensues, Fatima runs in search of Ellis, while Victor begins to lead a panicking Julie to safety. Donna leads the people into the van, trying to keep order when Fatima finds her. Realizing that Ellis and Julie are missing, Donna prepares to look for them, but Fatima tells her to follow protocol and get everyone to town. Donna agrees and gets inside the van while Fatima stays behind. Victor and Julie climb outside the window. Once they reach the ground, Victor sees the boy in white and leads Julie into the forest. Ellis sneaks through the halls while the smiley creature walks around. Seeing Fatima's sweater, Ellis approaches the body believing it to be hers and finds Trudy's corpse. However, he is discovered by one of the creatures. Ellis breaks the window, climbs onto the roof of the porch, and jumps off. Fatima finds him and helps him inside. Then she shuts the door to the foyer in hope that the talisman will protect the room. Her idea works, and the creatures knock on the door and the doors and taunt her. Ellis asks how she knew that it would work, and Fatima tearfully admits that it was just a guess based on his father's experience in the RV. Ellis apologizes to Fatima, and the two say they love each other. Victor leads Julie to a faraway tree and tells her to get inside and warn Ethan that it is starting. Julie says she doesn't understand, but Victor says that Ethan will and promises to be right behind her. Julie climbs inside and emerges in the root cellar. Boyd and Father Khatri make plans for the journey. Khatri is excited and believes that this is why he was told to get back in the car, so he and Boyd could help find a way home for those trapped in the town. Boyd calls him a madman, but their conversation is interrupted by the honks from the van. Boyd asks where his son as he and Khatri begin helping the passengers inside. Before Khatri can make it inside, his throat is slashed by a creature. Boyd shoots the creature to no effect and helps Khatri inside. Boyd tries to stop the bleeding while Khatri gasps for breath and says that his path doesn't end like this. Khatri asks Boyd to pray with him, and the two begin to recite the Lord's Prayer as Father Khatri dies. And that's what ends this episode of From. So far, this is the best episode of From. When I initially watched the show, this was the episode. I'm like, okay, interesting show. I'm going to give this episode an 8.8 out of 10. And my characters of the episode, I mean, there's a lot of good performances. I feel like the standout for this one is Fatima and Father Khatri. I know I haven't really been nice to Jim thus far, and Boyd I don't really care about, I guess. Victor was pretty good in this one too, but I feel like Father Khatri and Fatima were the MVPs. Just my opinion. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of From and want to help me out the YouTube algorithm, please don't forget to Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on my really detailed review of From. Sorry it's really long, but what would you score the episode, and whom would be your standout characters of the episode? And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and you never know what you're going to see on JDEV TV.